A reading of Good for the Beehive, Good for the Bee, Part 3. When the Dragon Awakens, the Bondi Beach Massacre, and the Suicide of Importing Islam. Read by the author, D.S. Cook, for Apostoic.com. In parts 1 and 2, we established that nature mocks incompatible diversity, and moral relativism was exposed as a tactical repositioning of moral law, dressed up as enlightenment. Pretend otherwise, and we are not being tolerant. We are fools, rolling out the red carpet for the dragon that will devour us. Well, dear reader, I cannot afford to be vague. One such dragon has just scorched Sydney's sands. On December 14th, 2025, amid a Hanukkah celebration beside Bondi Beach, a father-son duo transformed a festival of lights into a slaughterhouse. 15 murders, including a 10-year-old girl, 2 rabbis, and a Holocaust survivor, and dozens more maimed. All because Australia persisted in importing ideologies that view the West not as a home, but as a hunting ground. Meet the Akrams. Saeed, 50 years old, an Indian immigrant who arrived in 1998, ran a fruit shop and sired Naveed. The son, an Australian-born bricklayer fresh off a lost apprenticeship. On the surface, they were model minorities, woven into the multicultural mosaic. Dig deeper and discover that Naveed was a devotee of the notorious jihadist preacher Wissam Hadad, had pledged allegiance to ISIS, and was flagged by ASIO back in 2019 for ties to an ISIS cell that was plotting attacks. He was deemed low risk and dropped from the watch list like a suspicious lump dismissed as a mosquito bite. Migratory vetting of the father would have needed to take place 28 years ago. Migratory vetting of the son? There was none, and there couldn't be. He was a natural-born citizen of Australia. Recently, they journeyed to Davao in the Philippines, which we might refer to as Islamist Insurgent Central. Then they returned to rain hell on Jews that were lighting menorahs. Homemade ISIS flags and IEDs were found in their car. This was not a personal beef against a Jewish co-worker who took their parking spot. It was calculated, premeditated jihad, not merely inspired, but commanded by a religion that preaches conversion or death, subjugation or slaughter, as the means to a heavenly place where lust can be slaked eternally. What did the poor virgins do that landed them in eternal sex slavery, I wonder? Must be where good Muslim men and bad Muslim women go. The relativists, progressives, drunk on their Protagorean slogan, "Diversity is our strength," will wriggle like eels in a net. "Not all Muslims," they'll cry, outraged. And they're half right. Ahmed Al-Ahmed was the hero of the hour, a Muslim fruit vendor and father of 2 who charged Naveed, disarming him amid gunfire that left him twice shot. A legend, a brave man, proving that some people are decent enough to transcend their doctrines. But here's a dry punchline. If Islam were truly compatible with the West, like honey and tea, we wouldn't need Caped Crusaders like Ahmed to stand up to it. We would have harmony, not horror headlines. But when the forbidden months are past, then fight and slay the pagans wherever ye find them, and seize them, beleaguer them, and lie in wait for them in every stratagem. Surah 9:5 from the Quran. The relativist refuses to look 3 simple truths in the eye. 1. Muslims who do not follow their religion do not thereby neutralize it. 2. Immigrant Muslim parents have naturalized children. Those children may follow their religion more faithfully than their peaceful parents. 3. Muslim parents have many children. Americans do not. A number of generations will bring about a Muslim majority. Suppose for a moment that only 50% of Muslims adhere to the Quran's convert or cull ethos. Would we have, presto, compatible diversity? Hardly. Half a horde is plenty to imperil our citizens as we import Muslims by the millions. Dial it back to only 20% of 1 million Muslim immigrants. Yikes. That's 200,000 ticking time bombs on the perimeter of our 4th of July picnics, biding their time to kill those they can't convert, or raising the next generation to do it. That's too grim. Won't do it all. We best force our imaginations into compliance and make a wild guess that only 1% of 1 million Muslim immigrants are actually faithful to their prophet's commands. Surely only 10,000 is no threat. Harmless, right? How many faithful felled the Twin Towers and murdered 2,977 Americans? 19. Just 19. How much lava liquefies ice? How many wolves wreck a sheepfold? Surely if oil is dripped into water only a few drops at a time, it will dissolve. No, friends. Islam, not its radical fringe, not its 1%, but the whole, is oil to our water, lava to our ice. Islam is entirely incompatible with the West. It is simply not one of the elements that can be added to our stable compound. Our well-meaning chants will not bend natural law or shield 10-year-old girls from bullets. For the written crime of intolerance that I have just committed, I will be branded hateful, a bigot, they will say, a Christian nationalist, an intolerant far-right goon, a Nazi even. But renaming ice and fire will not make them cuddle. Gravity will bring the dish down from the fridge top, regardless of whether we give it a new name. Nature, it turns out, does not obey our bumper stickers. The prophet himself weighs in. Therefore, let those fight in the way of Allah who sell this world's life for the hereafter, and whoever fights in the way of Allah, then be he slain or be he victorious, we shall grant him a mighty reward. Surah 2:16. Not equal are those believers who sit at home and receive no hurt, and those who strive and fight in the cause of Allah with their goods and their persons. Allah hath granted a grade higher to those who strive and fight. Surah 4:95. Fight those who believe not in Allah nor the last day, nor hold that forbidden which hath been forbidden by Allah and his messenger, nor acknowledge the religion of truth, even if they are people of the book, until they pay the jizya with willing submission and feel themselves subdued. Surah 9:29 from the Quran. Strange bedfellows. What of the unholy tango between Islam and the left? An odd coupling. Islam and Protagorean leftism are strange bedfellows to be sure. One is a raging false religion, completely intolerant of all other viewpoints, hell-bent on hijacking civilizations it did not build. The other is Islam, for crying out loud. To unpack this temporary fling, let's dip into nature once more. In eastern Africa's coastal waters, Bayau or Swahili fishermen snag remoras, suckerfish with dorsal suction pads who leech on to larger animals. They tether lines to their tails and set them loose. The remora, true to form, swims out and latches on to hefty quarry, sharks, turtles, rays, marlin, beasts that are beyond a lone angler's reach from his little boat. A win-win hunt, correct? The fisherman scores prey that has been located and immobilized for him. The remora feasts on parasites and scrap. But when the hunt is over, the arrangement is too. The line reels in, the catch is clubbed, and the remora joins the menu, cooked up right alongside its mark. The helper, acting naturally, seals its own doom, betrayed by the apex predator. Behold the left Islam pact in miniature. Tolerant progressives, peddling views that Islam deems blasphemous and punishable by death, serve as unwitting remoras. They are harnessed to topple the big fish, the Judeo-Christian West, those people of the book, ripe for jizya or jihad, only to be the next to face the fillet knife. A truly hateful bigot would not warn them, letting them reap what they have sowed. Let us not be hateful bigots. Let us speak what we see plainly. Let us shout the emperor's nudity. Flood the forums, groups, polls, town halls, and elections with truth. The ram is not hateful for understanding the nature of the wolf and defending his silly flock with his horns. Not hateful, just not suicidal. Muslims belong in their homelands, lava in its vents, else we will have no diversity left to tolerate. Countrymen, pretty platitudes won't stop a hungry predator. Chant diversity is our strength until its mouth closes upon you. It will provide no barrier to those jaws. War is the father of all things, said Heraclitus, because irreconcilable diversity results in only two possible outcomes: submission or showdown. Bow the knee in conversion or bow the head for execution. If civil war against a Muslim populace is not what you had in mind for your children and grandchildren, separation is the only path. We must stop all import of Islam and peacefully but firmly export what we have. If that requires a constitutional amendment, then a constitutional amendment is what we need. Use every stratagem, quoth the Muslim prophet. And our own syrupy slogan, diversity is our strength, has become our clever enemy's weapon of choice. He could not have begged us for a better one. The end of Good for the Beehive, Good for the Bee, Part 3, When the Dragon Awakens, the Bondi Beach Massacre and the Suicide of Importing Islam. For more parables, articles, social and moral commentary on current events, Stoic concepts presented from a Christian worldview, please visit Apostoic.com. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to this YouTube channel. It makes a huge difference and is the best free support you can offer to Apostoic.com. Thanks for listening.